Hello again, everybody. Hello again, everybody. All right. Sorry about that. First off, let me apologize for just disappearing earlier. Once again, we had a power outage. Of course, don't know what happened this time. Like I did find out, my sister, I guess, found out this afternoon that I guess yesterday's power outage was due to I guess a wire coming loose and setting fire to somebody's house or something like that. Um, but we don't know why the power went out this time. My sister just said, "Well, it's hot, so it's we're gonna probably be having it all the time." But I hope not. But anyways, at least I was towards the end of the show there. So, but I did say I'd come back as I did last night. I came back to finish the show off. So we're gonna get right into this day in each history, and then I'm gonna, of course, close things out. So, ain't that Siri? There's storms happen. No, no, it's not. We're not having like any kind of storms or anything. It's just you have to remember. I'm in Southern California. It's July in Southern California, so it is a bit on the warm side. Albeit we're not probably not going to get the worst of the heat for another probably couple. Well, actually, I'm sorry, not July, August in Southern California. So it's going to only be getting hotter over the next couple months. So that will probably be playing havoc on it. Hopefully, it's not going to be too bad. Hopefully tonight is the last of this garbage. But that means Transformers overheating. Yeah, more than likely. I'm guessing. I guess that probably could be it. Um, but with that being said, of course, you can always go back and watch the first half of the show or the first part of the show. As I said, I pretty much was almost to the end there. I was just kind of getting, I was basically just telling everybody, the last thing I think I mentioned was what was, what was coming up on tomorrow night's Collision. So that's why we're just getting right into the this day in each history segment here. So today is Friday, August the 8th, 2025. So let's go ahead and take a look back at this day in each history. History! So 2001, 2010, 2000, 1965. All right. So first off, we're going to head back 60 years ago today. And on this date, 60 years ago today, on this date, 60 years ago today, TMS Entertainment's Kutaro the Ghost premiered on Japanese television on this date um, back in 1965. So 60 years ago today, TMS Entertainment's Kutaro the Ghost premiered on Japanese television on this date back in 1965. It looks like it was in color too. So the storyline is the plot is the same as the manga it's based on, and the general plot is the adventures of Kutaro as he lives with the Ohara family, causing mischief by means such as scaring people and stealing food while having a fear of dogs. So a ghost afraid of dogs sounds like a pretty funny anime, uh, pretty humorous. But anyway, 60 years ago today, TMS Entertainment's Kutaro the Ghost premiered on Japanese television. So, anyways, Moving on to the next piece in each history. And we move ahead to the year 2000. On this date in the year 2000, 25 years ago today, let's see, Walt Disney and Pixar's Buzz Lightyear of Star Command: The Adventure Begins premiered on this date back in the year 2000, 20 years. So Buzz Lightyear of Star Command: The Adventure Begins is a 2000 American animated science fiction comedy film directed by Tad Stones, who is also the producer with Mark McCorkle and Bob Schooley. It is a spin-off of Pixar's Toy Story franchise and was released direct-to-video in the United States on August 8th, 2000. So on this date in the year 2000, Walt Disney and Pixar's Buzz Lightyear of Star Command: The Adventure Begins was released direct-to-video. Alrighty then. So continuing on there after that, of course, moving on to the next piece of niche history. Moving on to the year 2001, 24 years ago today. On this date, 24 years ago today, Chaos's ICP The Pendulum, issue number 10 of ICP The Pendulum, went on sale on this date back in 2001, 24 years ago. Sold for $5.99, 32 pages. It featured the Insane Clown Posse, more or less known for being a rap group, but also has done a number of multimedia things over the years. Of course, the comic here. Of course, they were known back around the late 90s, early 2000s for their time in like WCW. Throughout the 2000s, they ran their own wrestling promotion called Juggalo Championship Wrestling. Had a long time affiliation with Vampiro. Let's see. And I do believe one of the members was actually involved in the NWA just about 2 or 3 years ago. But I don't think it was. I can't remember. I know Shaggy 2 was one of them, but it wasn't him. It was the other guy. So the blonde guy. So 24 years ago today, ICP The Pendulum issue number 10 went on sale on newsstands. And finally, on this date in the year 2010, 15 years ago today, on this date 15 years ago today, date 15 years ago today, coming from the TNA Impact Zone in Orlando, Florida, Total Nonstop Action had their Hardcore Justice pay-per-view. It was the 6th event of the Hard Justice chronology, initially known as Hardcore Justice. The main event for Hardcore Justice saw Rob Van Dam defeat Sabu. Let's see, Raven defeated Tommy Dreamer. Team 3D with Joel Gertner defeated Axel Rotten and Cojones in a tag team street fight. So this is very much ECW-esque type pay-per-view. Rhino defeated Al Snow and Brother Runt in a 3-way dance. Stevie Richards as part of the Blue World Order with the Blue Guy and Hollywood Nova defeated PJ Polacco. Two Gold Scorpio defeated C.W. Anderson, and in the opening match, the FBI of Little Guido, Tony Luke, and Tracy Smothers with Sally Graziano in their corner, defeating Kid Cash, Simon Diamond, and Johnny Swinger. All right. So with that being said, in this conclusion to the earlier part of the show, and I guess there is at least one more comment before, or a couple more comments. Let's see. I love ECW. Yeah, especially when Kurt Angle was at his peak. Okay, so which part of ECW are you talking about? The ECW of the '90s or the reboot that the WWE did back in like 2006 to 2008 or 2006 to 2008? The thing is, Kurt Angle did initially go to ECW, um, and they were about to sign him when it was still ECW. Kurt Angle was. Yeah. Well, okay, so before he was signed to the WWE, Kurt Angle did actually attend a ECW show and was almost completely turned off by pro wrestling as a whole after watching their show. He was very critical of that hardcore style, but WWE would of course have an ECW brand in the mid to late 2006, 2008, I believe. So yeah, I watched a documentary about him. Okay. All right. Well, with that, though, I do thank you for being here, Natsuri. I thank everybody for being here. Of course, if you want to catch some of the earlier content, just go back and watch the other video as well. And I thank you guys for being patient with me and all this stuff happens, as sometimes does. But anyways, we'll be back here on Sunday. My co-host will be my co-host this week being Apex from Apex Comics, as we'll be looking back to comics that went on sale. We continue our look down Comics History Lane, looking back to comics that went on sale in June of 1940. We'll be looking through some selections from Centaur. So with that, let's see. We're gonna you too, Centaur. So with that, I thank you all for being here, and I hope to see everybody back here tomorrow or Sunday on Sunday. Bye.